Hi, and welcome to British Dad Reacts. My name is John. Thank you for watching. And if you do like this kind of content, then, well, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, leave a comment or a recommendation. I want to take you back 50 years to 1975 and a band that stepped out of their comfort zone. How does it feel? I'm going to go back and start some more of this because it's a glorious introduction with the piano, Jim Lear on the piano. And in a period when there was glam rock, and Slade were one of the glam rock bands. There was rock, there was heavy metal coming with the likes of Black Sabbath, there was the burgeoning punk scene, there was disco music, there was so much going on. Slade just produced something that I think is probably one of their great tracks. And it's one that always kind of gave me time for reflection. How does it feel? How does it feel right at the start? How does it feel when you are thrown apart? 'Cause many years from now there will be newer poisons and new horizons. How does it feel? Oh, oh, oh. Do you know what it's like to be searching in your own time? All your attempting, experimenting, all on the climb. Do you know what it's like to be searching and suddenly find all your illusion, all your confusion, all left behind? Cause many years from now there will be new tomorrows and still some sorrows. How does it feel? There was something about this track using that kind of brass instrumentation in the backing, that kind of lead from the piano, and a slightly less excitable band in terms of the way they used to perform in the kind of glam rock. And there's something quite profound about the lyrics as well. And I always kind of took them to think that it doesn't matter where you are and how you're feeling, particularly if you're feeling low. Things do move on. And there are famous quotes on this about how the inconsistency of life, like the spokes of a wheel, for them to go up, they must also go down. I wanted to cover this track, I think, because as we start to get towards Christmas, everybody thinks of the famous Slade track. Now, I've covered Slade before. I've covered Get Down and Get With It, one of their early songs, and also Goodbye to Jane. And I've talked about how they started as a kind of more kind of rocky type skinhead band when they first formed as a group around about 1966 in Wolverhampton, which is in the middle of England. And they were an unusual mix, I guess, in many ways, particularly with Jim Lear, who you saw there on the piano, being a classically trained musician. And the amazing voice of Noddy Holder, which was really a rock voice, and yet wrapped up in this whole glam rock image that they took on and became most well known for. Now, as I said, this track was released in 1975, and it was part of the soundtrack to a kind of promotional film that they did called Slade in Flame. It wasn't as successful as their kind of earlier glam rock tracks, but to me, it's one of their standout songs. There's something quite, I think, positive and profound about it. Slade, how does it feel? If you do like this kind of content, as I said, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, leave a comment or a recommendation. Thank you so much for watching.